So between the two of us, content and social media, Spencer and I have you covered, and we have a really interesting um, presentation for you, totally full of facts and figures. You just wait.
It is indeed. Let's get into it.
Spencer, are you recording? Let's
I
just make
am.
sure we can share this for people.
Yep.
Okay, thank
I
you.
just started. I realized right after my intro that I was recording, but we're,
Okay.
we're recording now. So let's go over what we're doing today. We're gonna look at channels galore. We've got so many channels. So what are your choices? Which are the best for you? Then we're gonna take a look at what are your audience, where are they, and how you can locate them and see what motivates them. Then last, we're going to look at creating content that fits the channel. We're going to give you some tips that will allow you to maximize your reach and craft posts that are really tailored to the biggest channels. Then we're going to take some questions. So if you enjoy the webinar today, take a screenshot of a slide that stands out to you, post on social media, tag us in it, and tell us how this would help you. Then you've got a chance to win this book, Secrets of Ad Agency Owners, the biggest marketing mistake I've ever seen. And I know Lori is definitely a fan of that book, considering she's featured in it, right?
She is. And how could you resist something called Secrets of?
Yes, secrets.
So why don't we get started, Spencer? Could
Yep.
you move us here? I thought we'd start today with a little quiz. A couple years ago, we had a client and their main focus was to help people learn better grammar. These were two former teachers who were passionate about grammar, and they had created this wonderful learning series that they wanted to offer to businesses and individuals. Our job was to help them get people interested and excited about grammar. Not an easy job, but grammar is really important. So we dove in and we created a series of posts, and we were using Facebook for the most part. And what you see are three of the posts that we used. Well, because at the time it wasn't clear to us what would resonate with different people and different audiences, we posted all of these posts on Facebook. So my question to you is, which ones do you think did well on Facebook and which ones were better suited for other platforms? So let's take a look at the first one. It has a nice piece of factual information. It shows people who are working hard to get on it. What platform do you think this kind of post belongs on? You can chat your responses here. We'll take a look at those. So number one, where do you think? LinkedIn.
Should we
And
see?
guess what? The answer is LinkedIn. You guys are right. You guys are already experts. So here we have grandma and punctuation saves lives. Which platform do you think this posted the best on? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Facebook, Instagram. Okay, you guys are catching on. This post actually did the best on Facebook. Now, the cat is likely to do well anywhere except for us dog lovers. But what that leaves us with one further platform, and you guessed it, it's Instagram. So the cat post did the best on Instagram. So today we're going to dive deep into why that was, so that you don't have to do the experimentation, run those posts and find out the hard way. So quiz number 2. And the answers to these quiz questions are going to be found throughout the presentation, but I thought I'd give you a little tease and see what you think. Which channel captures the engagement of the highest percentage of high income earners, that is. Okay, any guesses? Which channel captures the highest percentage of those with higher incomes? Got to be LinkedIn. All right, lots of good questions there. There are answers there. I'm not gonna give it away till we get there. Worldwide, are Facebook users more likely to be men or women? Thoughts about who's on Facebook? I see women, men. Oh, okay, a little bit of both. Mostly women, people are saying. And then my third question, which you will find out the answer to today, is US citizens. make the largest percent of this channel's users. So think about worldwide, all these platforms are worldwide. Which one is mostly made up of US citizens? Any thoughts? Ooh, I think we have them stumped.
We
No
might
one's saying anything. All right, we'll find out as we go forward.
will.
Okay, so get ready to drink from the fire hose. We have a mountain of statistics to share with you. And it would be really easy to get drowned here, but the way not to drown is to think about your audience. Take a second here and think about who is it that you are talking to in your social media? And then think about what kind of content it is you have to share. All of us have content that we're better at than others, whether that be because of the offering we have, the budget we have, our own skills in terms of sharing. We all know a little bit about what content we have to share. So if you keep those things in mind, then you won't get so overwhelmed with all the information we're going to share with you. So let's get down into it. Spencer, what's next?
Yep. So we're going to look at all of the channels available. And first, we're just going to do a high level overview of some of the statistics before we get into kind of the specifics of their motivations and whatnot. So first, when I say social media, what comes to your mind, Margie? What's
You know, I would have to say Facebook. I think that when people think of social media, that's the picture in their mind they get.
mine too. Wow, look at that. That's what comes up first, almost like we rehearsed that. So
Could be.
social media, I mean, Facebook is the most recognized platform pretty much worldwide, I would say for the most part. So as a whole, they've got 1.62 active users. That's billion with a B,
B.
with a B. And so among US Facebook users, about 74% of people use the site every day. And as you can see from that chart, the hottest times to use Facebook are usually midday between Tuesday and Thursday. So midday to mid afternoon. And
And I know why that is,
yep,
Spencer. And that's because during the midday, the little break that I take for lunch, I often bring out my phone and check my Facebook and see what's going on. Is there anybody I need to be worried about? Did I say happy birthday? Did I miss that to somebody? And it's usually around lunchtime. So this makes perfect sense to me.
yep. And it's interesting you hold up your phone when you said that because 88% of Facebook users are on mobile. So let's move on to advertising. So here's the thing about organic posts from Facebook. They're great, but the engagement rate has been going down on a year by year basis, as you can see in that chart. So the average organic reach for a Facebook post is only 6.4% of the page's likes. So that's not much. So typically, brands we want to see starting to use advertising on Facebook, and advertising is available on all platforms as we've discussed, but it's pretty important on Facebook. For ads, about 94% of Facebook ad revenue is from mobile. And as you can see from the bottom right chart, that ad spending amongst marketers has gone up steadily every single year up until 2019. And I assume it's kept going.
Well, and I would say, as Spencer introduces this, it's really important to understand that what's happening on Facebook is happening across all social media platforms. We are learning that organic posts really need the boost and the advertising as a synergy to really make the most engagement. So as we present each of these platforms, we're going to talk about posting, the organic aspect of it, and also the advertising so you know what's available to you.
Without a doubt. So let's move on to LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is the best platform for B2B businesses. And it's very small compared to the likes of Facebook and Instagram. As you can see, 4 times smaller than Facebook and 2 times smaller than Instagram. So LinkedIn only has about 300 million with an M active users monthly, but it is great for B2B, as you can see in the chart in the top right corner, that LinkedIn drives the most traffic to B2B blogs and sites than any other social media channel.
Small but mighty.
Yep. Another good feature from LinkedIn is their groups, which provide opportunities for brands to drive real engagement and influencers to decision makers across different industries. So let's take a look at ads. So LinkedIn offers a lot of different types of advertisements. And although as a whole, LinkedIn has more expensive ads than Facebook, this ad opportunity allows B2B brands to reach individuals from specific industries that they're targeting. So it allows you to deliver ad content to those with job roles that are involved in making purchasing decisions relating to B2B companies. So as you can see you've got the sponsored content ads, text ads, sponsored in-mail, programmatic display ads, and dynamic ads. So let's take a look at Twitter. So Twitter, hashtags, hashtags, hashtags. They are massive on hashtags. Although pretty much they set the trend for all other social media sites to start using hashtags. So what hashtags do is they allow brands to engage their audience. Hashtags allow you to follow and participate in conversation about a trending topic in the industry. And you can use hashtags to reach new audience who might be interested in your content. And you can also take advantage of topics that are trending to expand your reach. And Twitter, the other thing is you really want to be concise. So you've got 280 characters and you really want to keep it to one message as a whole. So in terms of advertising, it provides opportunities to deliver digital ads to their target customers on the social media platform. And they've got multiple ad options for your company, depending on what you want. They've got the promoted tweets, promoted accounts, which will just promote your account when they go to who to follow, promoted trends, promoted moments, and automated ads. And you've got a couple examples of those on the right. You've got a promoted tweet from Subway at the top, a promoted account at the bottom for the sandwich bar, and the same with on the right.
One thing I want to jump in here as we're going through there, and you might notice a trend here is there's multiple ways to advertise, and then there's almost always an opportunity to do some kind of automated or dynamic ad where you get to take advantage of the artificial intelligence or the learning, the AI of that brand, of that platform to guide what is displayed for you. So if you, especially if you're new to advertising on a platform and they offer these dynamic type ads, it helps you learn what is going to be useful. So you'll note that in this case, it's the automated ads. The last one talked about dynamic ads. And as we go forward, that is an option that almost every platform is going to give you.
No doubt. Thank you for that, Margie. So Instagram, this is the most visually focused social media channel. So for most platforms, you'll have the text being the main focus, but for Instagram, it's all about the visual. And overall, Instagram has a younger demographic, but some of the best features about it is it's going to let you tell your brand story with unique, visual, engaging content. And no matter what industry your company is, you can use Instagram to showcase your product or services. And another fun another fun feature is stories, which will allow you to take behind the scenes footage, go live for your audience, and whatnot and so forth. We'll get a bit more into the stories later. Mm-hmm. So Instagram advertising. So there are a variety of ads to pick from, and about 33% of marketers invest in Instagram ads. So in terms of the advertisement types, you've got story ads, which we got into a bit earlier. They'll appear on your story, photo ads, video ads, carousel ads, which will allow you to swipe through multiple videos or photos, collection ads, explore ads, and shopping ads, which will allow you to go straight to the shopping cart or go straight to view a product. Then YouTube. So YouTube is the number two search query just behind Google. And that really helps with SEO because content that you post through your brand's YouTube channel is both searchable on YouTube and Google. So some of the benefits of YouTube are that you'll have unlimited video hosting and that you can easily integrate those videos into your website or your other social media platforms for a greater reach overall. And then in terms of YouTube advertising, there are four main types. So you've got skippable. So most YouTube ads are 15 to 30 seconds long, and the skippable will allow your audience to skip it after 5 seconds. You've got the non-skippable, and this is important because 76% of people report that they automatically will skip ads right when that thing comes up. So this is good for lifting brand awareness when you believe that you can hold a person's attention for over 15 seconds. And then
Mhm.
you've got your discovery ads, which is similar to a search query. You can see it um, like when you search a video, it'll pop up as the top suggestion, similar to Google. And then non-video ads, which will pop up on the side of the video, as you can see on the bottom little picture. You'll see that an ad pops up on the side. So that'll be your main non-video ad, but then there's also um, the in-video overlay ads, which will pop up on the screen in the middle of a video. And then in terms of other channels to keep an eye on, you've got Pinterest, which has 322 million monthly users, which are for the most part a majority female, but it's a very image focused platform, which could be good for fashion, interior design, art, food, or fitness industries. And a really cool feature of that is the Pinterest buy button, which allows you to sell products directly from your Pinterest page. And then TikTok. TikTok is a bit of a new one, and it's a very young demographic overall because about 40% of the users are between 16 to 24 years old. And from a B2B standpoint, it's somewhat uncharted waters, but it is possible to use it. It's good for user generated content, and it's good for just showing up fun little videos and whatnot.
Image.
Yeah. And then Snapchat. So if you want your business to connect with people under 35, then Snapchat might be a good option too, because about 82% of the Snapchat users are age 35 or younger. So once you do start a Snapchat, it'll appear on the Discover tab. And it would also be a good idea when you do start, if you do start a Snapchat for your business, to cross promote it across all your other channels, just to let your your audience know that you are on Snapchat. And then Clubhouse, the dark horse of all of these,
The newest one.
the newest one. So our CEO, Lori Hybe, is very involved in Clubhouse, and
Perhaps we might call it obsessed right now.
but she walked us through it, and it's kind of like, I don't know, a bit of a podcast where you're live and you can have multiple people in with you. They're called rooms, but it's a very fun and up and coming channel that might be worth checking out. And if you are interested in it, I'd recommend emailing Lori. That's lori.hybe@keystoneclick.com. And she'd probably be happy to walk you through it just as she did with us.
Yeah, it's a very interactive new channel, and lots of people are trying to figure out how to use it and what to expect there. So we're exploring it as well. Now we're going to move into the next section of this. We've outlined the channels, but we really recommend that you spend your time on a channel that your audience is on. So your audience, where are they? So I thought we'd play another game. We'll call this the dating game. I'm hearing the music in the background. We have these fine, eligible audience personas here for you. And we would like to say where you're going to find your persona of choice. In the upper left-hand corner, we have the young hipster. Where do you think you're going to find the young hipster? No thoughts? How about Spencer? Let's reveal where is the young hipster? Oh, it's not letting you do it.
There we go.
There we go. The young hipster is on YouTube. In fact, pretty much everybody is. Okay, so who is this fine young professional? Well, I would say probably a trending toward middle-aged professional. Where is this one? Oh, somebody, I guess TikTok. Oh, someone says LinkedIn, and you are right. How about our boomer persona? Where are we going to find our boomer? Any thoughts? I'm looking at our chat. Facebook. That's a good guess. Spencer, the answer is Facebook. We're finding that boomers are trending up on Facebook. Our next persona is this fine young couple who's showing off their accomplishments. Where might we find that young couple? Oh, and you guys are so smart. You are right. That is Instagram. Then we have this last one, our last contestant, young, socially conscious, handsome. Okay, he's my son. Where would you find him? Any idea? Oh, snap, that's a good guess. Go ahead, Spencer, reveal it. You're going to find the socially conscious young man on Twitter. You guys did a great job. All right. Okay, so now we're going to dive in all seriousness where people are. So Facebook, audience demographics, the takeaway is a lot of people use it, but and they're active, they're using it multiple times per day, they're on it for 34 minutes a day. People are there. And one of the surprising things you might find is that worldwide, more men are on Facebook than women. Isn't that an amazing statistic? I was really surprised. So if you answered question number 2, Facebook, you were right. Um, so let's go to the next screen. Why are people on Facebook? Why do they spend time here? Understanding why people are there, what their expectations are, is going to help you choose what media to put on it. So what are people here? The picture shows you exactly why people are here. They want to be connected, to stay connected in contact with friends and family. They also want to reveal number 2. They want that sense of belonging. People have a need to belong to groups with people. The next one is sharing. They also feel the need to share and have this, in psychological terms, self-presentation. A lot of people on Facebook are there because they're eager to build a positive self-image. I'm sure a lot of you have seen a couple of the latest documentaries out there that talk about the dopamine hit that people get whenever you get a like, and it's true, and that's a lot of the reason why people are on Facebook. And one of the biggest reasons people are on Facebook is they're bored and they wish to be entertained. So when you're posting on Facebook, if you can connect with one of these motivations, then you're going to be more engaged. Let's move on to LinkedIn. If you're looking for professionals, B2B, LinkedIn is your channel. They tend to be middle-aged, well-educated, about 40, 50% or so are high income. They tend to be in upper management. And in the US, men and women are equally represented. Let's talk about the motivations. Why are people on LinkedIn? People are on LinkedIn, not surprisingly, for networking. That's why the channel was created. They're also on LinkedIn for learning. So they want to improve the way they work, or they want to make their job easier. People also want to stay on top of industry and business trends. And they're also looking for inspiration, entertainment, and again, self-presentation, putting ourselves out there. All right, let's talk about Twitter. Who uses Twitter? If you're looking for young, engaged, idea-centric people, think about Twitter. And that's why I put on this slide, politicians, pundits, and poets. And I know we all know the most famous person who was kicked off Twitter lately. So if you're going to go on Twitter, you're going to expect to see, an okay an amount of high income people. I found the most interesting thing about Twitter is that 80% of tweets come from about 10% of users. And that 10% of users happen to be female, which I found very interesting statistic. And 81% of millennials check at least once a day. So why are people on Twitter? Because they want to share ideas. They want to get the news. And I think one of the really big ones is they want to participate in discussion. And that's why you see a lot of the social consciousness happening on Twitter. And that's because these people really want to connect with the world, not just an individual, but the world in general. So go ahead, you can go to the next one. All right, Instagram. Storytellers use it. If you're looking for a young audience that is seeking social engagement through images, Instagram is your friend. It's very interactive. This is the place to build awareness, to tell stories, and to build brand loyalty. In other words, to really connect with your audience. If you answered Instagram to the question, US citizens make the largest portion of this channel's users. Worldwide, any other channel, you're going to find more worldwide people. Instagram is a US phenomenon. It makes it easy. It's really easy to forget that worldwide aspect of things. So let's talk about the motivations. As you can see, I thought this graphic was fun because these people are seeking status. They want to share their highlights, share where it's important to them. They also are pretty much in surveillance mode. They're looking to follow influencers. They're looking to connect and follow brands. They also want to express their creativity. And again, self-expression is a really big motivator for people on Instagram. So let's keep rolling to YouTube. If you answered question 1 at the start of this section, which channel captures the engagement of the highest percentage of high income earners? YouTube was the answer to that, amazingly. And that's partly because more people use YouTube than any other platform. 80%, 83% of high income people are YouTube users, and 80% of people with college degrees use it. So it's really a much more higher profile than you would expect. So what do people want out of YouTube? Well, not surprisingly, they want entertainment. They're there for inspiration, relaxation, escape. And I think we've all hit up YouTube for how to reset your disposer or how to fix that problem with the heater. So learning is a big deal. Connecting and sharing and social interaction is also a really important part of YouTube. And status, to be seen as cool because you're on YouTube. Those are the motivations here. So as we move into our next section of how you can best create that content, keep in mind these motivations. You want to know what your audience is expecting or wanting out of that channel when you go to talk to them. So Spencer, tell us about what's great on these different channels.
Yeah, no doubt, Margie. I think that definitely worthwhile thinking about the motivations before you post on any channel. So hopefully these tips that we'll give you in this section will help you do that a little more effectively. So let's get into Facebook. So visuals. Visuals are key, especially images. It's been shown that posts with images do better than posts with no images. So some images you could do would be quotes, memes, cartoons, or infographics. And as you can see from the graph, that navy blue bar is the engagement rate for, or average share, sorry, for in posts with images. And then the light blue bar is no images. So then you're going to want variety. You don't want to get stuck in a rut posting the same type of content over and over again. That's not good for engagement. Your Facebook audience is looking for different types of posts, different visuals, and different subjects. And also try to keep your language fun, as Facebook users are looking to be entertained and aren't looking to be overloaded with information. And then fun posts. So the value of entertainment cannot be understated for Facebook. So fun posts can consist of team bonding, fun facts, and whatnot and so forth. So as you can see, we had an example not too long ago. It was brought to our attention. It was Penguin Awareness Day. We decided it had to be a post. So although it doesn't have to do with what we do, it's a fun post to do, and it spreads awareness for a good cause.
It was also a very cold day.
Yeah, it was a very cold day, as you can see in the post. So, and in terms of competition, polls and competition are a great driver for engagement. So here's an example that we did a while back. If you've been keeping up with our Facebook, you might have seen that we did Mascot Madness, where we pitted all of our pets against each other in a battle royale to see which one would come out on top to be our next mascot. And unfortunately, my Luna wound up losing to Margie Stella. Unfortunately,
Go Stella.
It was still great for engagement because our viewers wanted to see their favorite pet win, and it was good for us internally because it motivated us to share the post, which would expose our content to new audience. So externally, you can use polls to ask industry-related questions, which you can use as inspiration for posts as well. So then videos. So as we all know, videos are across pretty much every platform. They're the most effective type of content. So here's some tips that you might be able to use to take your videos and Facebook to the next level. So a Facebook Live video is the most effective type of content. So you can use this as a Q&A, chat with your audience, and they are 4 times more likely to notice a live video compared to a recorded video. Now, if you are going to use a recorded video, it's recommended that you use a square video as opposed to a horizontal video, because squares videos get about 35% more engagement than any other type of formatted videos.
Think mobile. That's because it's square on your mobile phone.
Yep, 88% of users. So, and then in terms of ads, so if you want to maximize your ads, you're just going to want to think locally. So target audiences based on county, state, zip code, or radius from your business, because And then also Facebook ads with titles that are 4 words perform the best. So Facebook users like myself have a short attention span and they tend to scroll right away. So be concise and really try to hook them in. So, oh yeah. So LinkedIn. So informative is better. Remember, they're here to learn and they want information. So videos for LinkedIn, images, visuals for LinkedIn images lead to a 2 times higher comment rate, and LinkedIn videos are 5 times more likely to start a conversation. And similarly to Facebook, live video is the most effective form of content, but in LinkedIn's case, it drives 24 times more engagement, which is crazy. And then LinkedIn recommends you use short 1 to 2 minute videos with subtitles. And that's something important for across all platforms, is to use subtitles, because even if they aren't opening up the video, they want to know what's happening. And the only way to do that is through the accurate subtitles that they're able to read.
Yeah, you have to think about, a lot of people are viewing that on silent mode because they're secretly looking at it at their desk at work. So provide a little bit of text and they'll be able to know what's going on.
No doubt. And then gain information. So fun and entertainment post on the same drive as LinkedIn as they do in Facebook. So as previously mentioned, LinkedIn is primarily composed of professionals, and as a result, they want to learn. So this is why the informative and educational content grabs more attention, as your followers want to learn about what you do. And that moves on to industry trends and industry knowledge. So LinkedIn is where users go to learn. Your followers are following you because they know you have expertise in the field they're interested in. So now it's up to you to show them that you do have the expertise. So consider posting tips, trends, events, and all other types of information that share your level of knowledge and establish rapport with your followers. And then photos, as mentioned earlier in the slide, images lead to a 2 times higher comment rate. And something that I would consider doing is use the Neat tool that allows you to upload documents. So if you're trying to upload a promo for a blog, perhaps, make a design on Canva and download it as a PDF. And not only does PDFs allow you to post more than 4 images, which is the max on LinkedIn, but it's really visually appealing. It's really easy to just click along them. And here's an example of one we did a while back for a get to know your customer day. We used just some tips of how you can get to know your target audience. We used it to promote a blog. So super easy stuff.
Well, and one thing I'm just going to throw in there with the 4 image story that tells the story of your blog. We were just talking about this in another session today, is that you want engagement. That's what you want. People will click to see what the next screen is on that arrow. And each time they click, that counts as engagement point for you. So that when LinkedIn is looking at your engagement and deciding what to put in front of other people, your post is receiving the benefit of that additional engagement. So each time they click that arrow, it's like they're hitting a like or a share or a comment, and LinkedIn is saying, hey, this is getting interaction. So you'll get to spread it more.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it also helps keep your post short, and you have your information within the image as opposed to a long drawn out paragraph in your description.
Absolutely.
So then in terms of ads, so if you're thinking about using LinkedIn ads or currently using them, then the best practices are to drive engagement through keeping your headlines under 150 characters, and using larger images tend to get more engagement. And also this is true with every ad, but make sure your call to action is clear so your audience knows where the next move will take them. And
sure.
then finally, just consider the content you want to include in your ads, and remember that the other best practice from LinkedIn, be sure to share your industry knowledge. So Twitter, concise and conversational. So as we previously mentioned, tweets with hashtags get 100% more engagement than tweets with no hashtags. And use hashtags relating to the subject of your tweet or industry. This will allow people who search your hashtag to see your tweet. And it's a bit like keyword research with your website, where if you use great keywords in your website, people will see your website in search queries when they search that keyword. So if you use the right hashtags in your tweets, the people are more likely to see them. So this will also allow you can also get involved in other hashtags by seeing what's trending on the Explore tab. And you can really tie your brand in an authentic way to what's trending.
Sure.
So be concise. So even though Twitter has 200 characters per tweet, that's their allotment, it's recommended to keep it shorter than that. So if you're like me, you're scrolling through Twitter super fast and you don't have time to read the super long tweets, you really want to focus on the one message and then maybe include a link to the full message or full article. And then you really want to be conversational on Twitter. Asking questions and tweeting polls is a great way to do so. It shows your brand's personality and allows you to gather feedback, which can either even inspire blog posts or more content to post. And another way to be conversational is to respond to tweets or retweet other businesses' tweets or other thought leadership tweets. This will allow you to not only be participating in the industry, but to perhaps expand your voice to a different audience. And then you're definitely going to want to retweet positive customer feedback and make sure you're responding to every tweet that's tweeted at you and DMs. And then visuals. So again, videos are the most effective form of visuals and they bring in six times more engagement than images and 3 times more than GIFs. So a great way to start posting videos on Twitter is to make a teaser video for an upcoming product or service launch. And and if you're going to use an image, consider using an infographic because Twitter only wants you to be concise. An infographic is a great way to tell the larger picture of the story and to include more information. And then ads, just like a normal tweet, the best practice is to keep it between 50 to 100 characters. And then you're going to want to pair that with a strong call to action, and you're going to want to create a sense of urgency, as well as you're going to want to also include an image. Like you can see on this right image, they include a sense of urgency by saying, don't miss out, a strong call to action saying shop now, and then an image and a link to the site. So Instagram. So personality behind the scenes. So hashtags, the optimal amount of hashtags is 9. So although you can post up to 30 hashtags, the optimal is 9. And I don't know.
That's crazy. That's a crazy number of them. On many of the other platforms, you're like LinkedIn, for instance, you want to be like 3 to 5 hashtags when you're talking about things. This is where I think, young people really want to have more expression here. And 9, it allows people to sort and filter by those hashtags. 9 is a lot. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. And there have been studies that say, oh, never mind, wrong. So then we get into image size. So regardless of platform, you want to make sure that your image is optimized, but especially on Instagram where the image or the video everything. Is the story. It's not about the text that you have. It's not about hashtags so much as it is about the image. And you really just want to make sure it's optimized and looking great. So telling your story. So when you're thinking of content to post on Instagram is so emotionally driven and all about connection and personality that you want to think about the 5 W's. So some examples would be, who is your biggest supporter? Who inspires you? What were some of the obstacles that you've overcome? What are some of your recent wins? When do you do your best work? When do you celebrate? Where do you work? Where do you get your inspiration from? Then why did you start your business and why do you do things a certain way? So these are great ways to show your personality and really engage on a more personable level that will allow you to really reach a new level with your audience. And then Instagram stories. So this is a feature that is starting to get a little bit more traction on other social media platforms. I know Facebook and Twitter have recently added them, but Instagram stories have been there for a while and they're a great way to allow people to go behind the scenes of your business. You can compile stories of what it's like a day in the office or just fun picture of an event. But a statistical benefit of using stories is that each additional story you post, the average reach per story will go up by about 10%. And then finally, we've got trends. So trends are always changing. Trends are always happening. So a great way to show that you've got some fun going on, fun things, participate in the trends, and it will bring your business personality and improve your engagement.
All right. So like I said, a fire hose of information. There was a lot of information there. If you missed something, don't worry. You will get a recording sent to you of the webinar today. But I wanted to sum it up in a couple different ways here. What it really comes down to is you have choices of where to post. You want to start with one. If you haven't been super engaged anywhere yet, start with one and be really good at it. Really engage with your audience. And that is more than just putting stuff out there. That's also commenting on other people's posts, sharing what other people say, and responding to people's comments. Use both organic posting and advertising to take advantage of that synergy between the two and make yourself stand above the people who are just posting. You want to share content where your audience is. Think about where they are, which platform they are, and what are their motivations. So you want to match your content to the motivation that people have for that channel, and then choose formats that are proven to promote the engagement, the really do well on those channels. So that's like a really quick summary of that. Spencer, if you move to the next one. Before we take any questions, and we wanted to mention that this is part of a series. We're working on content marketing right now. We have a couple other ones happening that you may want to every 2 weeks. We have best practices for the actual content, how to build it, repurposing content. In other words, you take a piece of content, you can use it more than once. Then we are doing a new thing on this webinar series. We're calling it Cocktails and Case Studies. I can't wait to see how that turns out. And then we always close our series out with an expert panel discussion where you get the benefit of 5 experts that are talking about the same subject. So join us for the whole series or sign up and we'll make sure that you get that information. We also have a content strategy session offer that Spencer's going to tell you a little bit more about.
Yeah, if you want to take it to the next step, if you're struggling to get your content going, if you're struggling to post, think of ideas, it'd be a great idea to join us for a content strategy session. It's 30 minutes of strategizing with Lori. And what you'll get is you'll get 20 social media post ideas and 6 blog post ideas. So those will help you get a great head start on posting content. It'll be super helpful. So if you do want to learn more about that, I will throw the link in the chat. And so far we've ran a few of them and everyone has loved it.
Right. This is a really great way to jumpstart. I have a couple of us content experts take a look at your business and say, hey, here's some ideas for getting you going. I see a couple questions that we're getting now. Now this is a great time for them. Where can I sign up was one of them. And Spencer's chat, did you already chat it? Yeah, you did chat that into there. Another question we got here was, do we always recommend doing paid ads when building an audience on a specific channel? Always is a strong word, but we do recommend that that will help you get the best results possible. You want to not only reach your current followers, but advertising allows you to reach beyond your current followers to extend that your reach to people who don't know you yet. So it is a way to open up your marketing. And if you want to make the biggest bang for the buck in any one channel, that is the way to go.
And Angela asked, what type of app or program do you recommend for adding captions to your videos? See, there are a couple. First off, if you're doing it on Facebook or LinkedIn or most ads, they can auto-generate captions for you, or you can manually add the captions into the video. But we use a program for at least some of our podcasts, like Social Capital, which is Lori's podcast. We use a program called Wave. And what that'll do is it'll be a static image only. So it won't be a video, but it'll be a static image and they will auto-generate the captions for that. But most of the social media platforms will auto-generate captions for you.
Right. Well, I see we're really running long here, so I'm going to cut off the questions right now, but encourage you to reach out to us with your questions. You can either reach Spencer or I at the emails that are on the screen right now, Margie Hayworth at KeystoneClick.com or Spencer Bard at KeystoneClick.com. Visit our website and our links are in there as well as a ton of other information in our resource center. Thank you for joining us today, and please join us for the rest of our webinar series. We're really looking forward to it. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you so much, everyone.